Welcome, Crown Council Live. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
What's up, Stuart? Hello, Spence.
Great. How's it going?
I got a haircut literally an hour ago, and it almost looks like it's shaved to the skin.
Now, what does she do? Use like a negative
like
one?
like a razor.
How do you do that?
I was trying
new
to
barbers too.
Yeah, I was trying to change the video so it only shows this.
There you go. Stay.
Not gonna
Pause
happen.
right there.
Not gonna
Oh
happen.
man, I don't know. I think it's too short.
I don't know if you want to put in the show notes the Google address of your barber.
No.
We'll leave an online review.
I'm gonna sit like this.
Dude, just a reminder, haircuts are on Mondays, go lives are on Thursdays.
Great, we got that out of the way. Perfect. Okay. Hey, well, welcome to the show. We're really excited. We got a lot of guests, a lot of happenings, but I wanted to review a couple things first, and obviously hear your guys' opinions. Make sure we're all good to go. One, welcome back, Spencer. He was in the on our humanitarian trip last week in the Dominican.
¿Cómo estás, español, Spencer?
Yeah, está bien. Es mejor. Es mejor.
You got your dental vocabulary up to speed.
Not the dental vocab, except for does it need to be extracted or not? But everything else I can get by with my Portuguese.
That was one of my favorite projects, is putting together the Spanish dental vocabulary training session that everybody gets before they go to the DR or Guatemala. So
that's a good little card.
Ready up.
Hey, well, we've got the team leader from the trip hopefully joining us on the call today, and so they can go. Spence and Dr. Allison Lesko can go back and forth a bit about how it went. Last week, if you missed it, we announced our charity Day of Whitening event. It's a big change coming to the Smiles for Life campaign. If you missed that, the recorded version of the live stream last week is available, so you can watch the announcement with Blake Hadley from My Social Practice and learn how your practice can incorporate the Day of Whitening into your Smiles for Life whitening campaign. Very cool. And I believe we have a few other items, but we're going to pause them because we have our guest in the waiting room. So we're going to welcome in our first guest from EMS. Maybe, Spence, would you introduce them as they're coming in?
Yeah, for sure.
Great.
EMS is one of our newest resource partners of the Crown Council. Today, we're going to hear about guided biofilm therapy. And we have Morgan and also Melissa on from EMS, and so excited to have them on. And we were introduced to EMS through some of our existing members of the Crown Council. So Dr. Ryan Martz wanted to make it today. He was not able to, but we know that he was going to sing your praises, and Dr. Montgomery as well have shared so many great things. So we're so excited to learn more about you today, ask some questions, and welcome you into the resource partner family.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having us. We're really excited to be here. And I was able to get a little quote from Dr. Martz, so I can share that with everybody before we hop off.
I like it.
He is such a great advocate for GBT, and his passion is so infectious. So we actually absolutely love having him as one of our certified practices. So first, let's just talk a little bit about EMS. EMS is a Swiss-based company integrated back in the 1980s. So this is actually, a lot of people in the US say, GBT and EMS is new. It's not really new. It's been an evolutionary process for many, many years. But the mission of EMS is that we are really looking to create happy and healthy patients and successful clinicians and passionate partners. This is what the mission really is. EMS delivers innovative and clinically proven treatment outcomes in the least invasive way, and we are committed to fostering that knowledge and skills through training and education so that healthcare professionals, partners, and employees are all very empowered to provide this high level of precise hygiene care. Nice. What we refer to as GBT is guided biofilm therapy, and EMS is the leader in prevention and prophylaxis, we have created this GBT protocol that is performed with our airflow prophylaxis master. And it's a complete game changer in the way that we provide care for patients. And it's within our protocol, we're using different technologies in one device. So it's really that answer to anything that your hygiene team is going to be doing and providing care as far as maintenance goes. It's for healthy patients. It's for periodontally compromised patients when we're doing initial therapy or supportive therapy. If anybody in the council is placing implants, this is a necessity in your implant game. We all know the cost of one failed implant could be tremendous to a practice. This is your insurance policy. Implant maintenance, everybody scratches their head about it. Everybody wants to know, how do we do it? GBT is how we do it, and it's in a non-invasive way, so we can really protect that investment that the patient's made and keep that implant healthy for a really long time. So yeah, we're all about precision, comfort, and efficiency with EMS and GBT.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
I wish I could. I don't have a device set up in my office with me. But
I've got the website. Should I navigate to it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure.
While Stu is pulling that up, I'll mention to that, Steve and Melissa, on crowncouncil.com, we have loaded most of what Stu is showcasing onto EMS's site right there.
There she is.
That is that's on the Crown Council website, discussing that. That's cool.
Yeah. So Melissa, is it what comes through the device? Is it air or is it liquid?
That's an excellent question. It's actually one more component as well. So there's 3 different technologies inside the airflow prophylaxis master. We have our airflow, our PerioFlow, and then our Piezon. So the way the GBT protocol is curated, it's going to answer every step of what the hygienist needs to do. So in that device, we kind of flip the funnel on how we traditionally approach hygiene care, where we polish at the end of treatment. With GBT, we use our air flowing device to actually remove biofilm and stain in the beginning of the appointment. And we approach that debridement as a macro down to a micro approach versus going and doing all this really arduous fine detail work in the beginning and then getting the bulk out at the end with polishing at the end. So we use our airflow to manage biofilm first and stain. We have the PerioFlow if needed. Airflow is going to actually reach up to 4 millimeters subgingivally from a supragingival approach. So we can then utilize the PerioFlow into pockets that are 5 millimeters, and that's going to manage that dysbiotic biofilm that's creating that disease process and inflammatory response much more comprehensively than a traditional power scaler. And that's more site specific. So we go just into those pockets that we've assessed during our periodontal screening. And then we go to the other side of the device to remove remaining calculus. So we don't have to do 360-degree passes with a power scaler, then instruments, and then Profi cup and paste, because we're really just doing that one full 360-degree pass with the airflow piece of the technology, integrating PerioFlow if needed. And then when we get to the Piezon to remove the calculus, we're just going where calculus is. We don't have to instrument around every surface of every tooth. So that's what makes GBT much more efficient and also less invasive, because we're not over instrumenting our cases. It's a much more gentle approach on the tissue and tooth structure. And then with our airflow portion of treatment, we're using a powder that is called Plus Powder. It's a erythritol based powder. It is the finest, least abrasive powder on the market. It's only 14 microns in size. So doctors, what that means for you is your hygiene team is now actually helping preserve your restorative efforts, keeping that luster and shine of the beautiful materials and laboratories that you've selected, rather than actually scratching them and making them more biofilm retentive and taking that luster and shine away. Because even the lowest RDA paste polish is still doing that, still scratching and altering margins and surfaces. So we're really complementing the work the restorative team is doing with GBT.
Nice. Melissa, this is not your first day on the job, I can tell.
No, I've actually started out as a clinician. I integrated this back in 2016 with the older generation device, and then I upgraded when we got the airflow prophylaxis master here. And it's changed me as a dental hygienist. And now I have the pleasure of sharing that with everybody in America.
I want to try it. I want.
We need to get you in the chair. Actually, we have one of our trainers is in Utah, so we're going to have to
Yeah.
connect you with her practice.
There you go. Very cool.
Awesome.
Where can Spence, you want to show everybody, or Stuart, where on the Crown Council site we got a home for EMS. EMS has its own little spot on the Crown Council website.
That's right.
More.
So as Stu's navigating to there, so Crown Council members, we're going to hear from EMS. They're presenting in our mastermind groups. They're going to be at the annual event. You can go to the resource partner tab here on the crowncouncil.com site to learn more about EMS and get in touch with their team. We're just excited to have them with us. So
Chip, which one would it be under? Let's see.
Just search. If you just search EMS, is it not pulling up there?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, also there is with the last number I saw recently in a report was 800 million people that have stage 2 or higher. I think it's got to be bigger than that. How many people are there in the world? 6 billion. Are we at 6 billion yet?
Yeah.
I think we're at 6 billion, and the estimate is 80% have some form of periodontal disease.
That's wild.
So there is plenty of work to be done here.
There is. And the great thing about that, Steve, is that, we have a way to really educate our patients, right? We can, and that's curated within the protocol as well, because after step 1, which is assessment, step 2 is disclosing. And that's so critical, because when you make biofilm visible, that patient understands the etiology of the disease and the diagnosis that you're then making. So we don't have that barrier for them to do, periodontal therapies that we're recommending, because their mind can now know and understand what their eyes see. So when we do our comprehensive assessments and we put together the disclosing phase with that and show them, take a tour with a mirror and give them a hand mirror, need a knee eye to eye, and just say, hey, look, this is what we've identified in your mouth. The different colors are associated with the maturity of the bacteria. When the bacteria is more mature, it causes an inflammatory response. Do you see these areas on your charting? That's where I got bleeding. That means the bacteria has broken down that gingival wall. It is in your bloodstream. And every time your heart pumps, it's traveling to other organs in your body. And when you really dig into their medical history and look at risk assessments and gather that data and ask questions about family history, so now their genetic predisposition. If their father had a heart attack, well, guess what? You are at risk for that. And periodontal disease doubles your risk for heart attack and stroke. So we have a way to get you motivated to get in the chair, take care of put your disease in remission, and then keep you in the chair 4 times a year as opposed to 2, because it's a better experience for them as a patient. And now they're motivated. They get the why behind the do. They're motivated to come in because it's bigger than just getting stain and plaque off, right? It's about changing your health and really impacting your life.
And that's where the big change, that's where the opportunity to make a big change happens. Most people think it's just about the calculus and getting them clean, but when you educate them in this way, it is behavior change and a whole different perspective. So
absolutely
love what you're doing.
So good.
Thanks, Melissa.
Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you, guys. It was my pleasure.
Okay, we'll post this recorded segment to the Crown Council website, and I know Melissa is joining a few mastermind groups. So we're grateful to have you as part of the Crown Council membership, Melissa. Thanks.
Thank you. Before we close out, can I share what Dr. March said?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Awesome. So he wrote to me that as a clinical leader of my office, I have way more confidence that my hygienists are successful removing biofilm. GBT is one of the smartest decisions I have ever made. It instantly made my practice stand out amongst the rest. I love to provide my patients with a VIP experience. GBT is the only way they can feel their mouth is getting top shelf treatment.
Love it.
Nice.
He's awesome.
He is awesome.
Very, very quotable. Love it. Love it.
Yes.
Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Melissa.
the opportunity.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Cool.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Allison's in the waiting room. She's ready.
Bam. You got a different perspective on your biofilm there, Stu?
Man,
I feel like she needs to be a no more hygiene.
That was
great.
impressive.
Yeah,
Very
cool.
impressive.
That was it was neat to hear. I mean, not neat, but it's terrifying. Periodontal diseases. I had a bunch of 14-year-olds over at my house for Halloween, and they were talking about, I'm not going to brush my teeth when I get home from eating all this. And I'm like, let me look at your gums. Are they pink? We gotta get you in.
Hello, Allison.
Hi, Allison.
Hey, Allison.
Thanks for having me on.
Are you and Spence? You and Spence, look at you guys, just like
we're all cleaned up, Allison. It's like a little different here.
All right. So before we jump into all things humanitarian and go to the Dominican Republic, you just got back. Just to give everybody context, you're coming from Fort Collins, Colorado. And will you just share with everybody, for those that may not be familiar with it, just real quick history of your practice. You bought an existing practice and you did an extreme makeover, if I can coin a phrase, on the practice itself. Will you just walk us through the quick backstory of what you bought, what you did to it, what came out the other end? Because it's a very, very cool story.
Oh, thanks, Steve. Yeah, I've been in practice for almost, I think it's my 15th year of practice. And 6 years ago, I moved to Fort Collins and I bought a practice from a solo dentist that had owned this practice for 30 years. And I met him and his lovely wife, and it was instant connection. Just loved his personality, loved how he approached patient care. And so I knew I wanted to buy his practice. And he had a modest practice, bread and butter, and it was a well-oiled machine as well. But yeah, I did bring a lot of things to the table in terms of, I do everything but wire and bracket braces is my tagline. Maybe one day. So with that, we expanded his practice from making $500,000 a year, which was good for him, but to almost 2 million in the next year. So we've really expanded that. And in the first year, over doubled what he was doing, which just by doing ortho and implants and sedation. So we moved from a really small location that could have fit in my waiting room right now to a beautiful building that is next to a creek and a running place. So it's really, every operatory has windows, so you can look outside and see our therapy squirrels that we have that come up to the windows.
Therapy squirrels?
Therapy squirrels that
you breed them?
We are well trained to feed them walnuts. And
okay, will you send me some of those therapy squirrels to like train the squirrels that are so destructive in Texas?
So good.
These ones are very nice. They're not causing any destruction, but it's really adorable to have them come up to our office. And so we built out and renovated a new location, and it reflects my ideal living room if I could have that. I have little kiddos, so the idea of a nice couch is still a little bit of ways away. But it's definitely nice to walk in and just feel the joy and the happiness in our practice, both aesthetically and with the team. So,
Allison, I can't wait to post this to the Crown Council membership and ask, do you have therapy squirrels?
We also have a therapy dog who's asleep on the floor next to me.
Nice.
That's Brisket. So,
all right. So, what part has doing good played in the building of your practice and your culture?
Yeah, we do a lot of things within our practice as well as locally. And, we have, as I was thinking about some of the fun things, I mean, we try to do those random acts of kindness all the time. So that could be finishing a case and showing up when they come to get their veneers with a bottle of champagne or whiskey. I, definitely have done that for some of my
whiskey. Wow.
Yeah. Like, I like the whiskey. So, flowers or gifts, we do like our cookie exchanges with our patients. So we do some random acts of kindness that way. And the other thing is I have a golden ticket. So everybody on my team has what's called a golden ticket. And it doesn't happen often, but several times through the year where that patient that comes through and they just really pull on your heartstrings, and they need this treatment, but they can't afford it. They can't do that. And so that might be anything from giving them a water pick or electric toothbrush to we've done, extractions and dentures or, lots of fillings for them. And so it's nice for the team to be like, this is my golden ticket patient. And so we celebrate those patients and be able to do that for for them. But I feel like doing good and showing the team that that's number one, we're here to serve our patients and to be an advocate for them. And one of the ways that we do that is to be grateful for them and to be generous in what we can do. And that just kind of seeps through every pore here in the office.
All right, Spencer, Allison, tell us about the Dominican Republic. You just came back. Tell us about the adventure.
Hey, can I?
Next week.
Well, Allison, I'm going to give just an intro on how awesome of a team lead, a trip leader Allison was, if I may. So this particular trip, we had 4 days of clinic. During 4 days, we saw 367 patients. What that means, if you have not been on one of these humanitarian trips, is that Allison, our team leader, had triage dialed in, had our doctors working hard, had just a line of patients out the door, and it was like clockwork every day. And Allison led us through it, and we would get on the bus at the end of the day, and she would just make everyone feel awesome and celebrated that we hit our strategies for the day and our goals for the day. That's how I would introduce Allison to leading this trip.
Love it.
Allison, maybe you could talk about what you learned on the trip personally, and then as a doctor too, maybe what you'll bring back to your office.
Yeah, and this trip, it was definitely different. This is my first trip to lead, and I so appreciate Spencer being down there. He was wonderful support and a great leader to be able to be there with the Smiles for Life. And I appreciated him standing up and I mean, I felt like you were right there with me co-leading, so that was really helpful. So thanks for your support and kind words. So it was definitely a different trip. I've been down there 4 times. And so like you said, I was triaging and leading instead of having my nose down to the grindstone and being the doctor that was seeing as many patients as I could. But what it allowed me to see was, it's such a remarkable when you can look into the room and you can see these people that your team members and the doctors and the hygienists, and you see that light bulb go off in their brain when you're like, they got it. Like they get why they're down here, and it ignites something in them to want to take back. And having people come up to me and say, like, I understand why you're here. Because I didn't want to spend the first night, telling them why I love the Dominican and why I go there. I wanted people to really find that reason for themselves. And to see that light bulb connect was a really unique experience that I didn't always get to see in that manner when I served with my nose down, going down. So that was really unique. And it was an honor to be able to lead, and everybody, the team was amazing. They just, I think I could have told them to jump 10 times before every patient. They would have done it. They just, yep, whatever you need, I'll do it. We're on it. We're going to take care of these patients. It was awesome. There was a really great group that we went with.
Very cool. What was the Allison, for you? What was the highlight? What was your, like, if there were a moment that was your favorite moment all week, what would it be?
There's just so many. There's so many little gems that just warmed my heart. From like our first day, which the first day down there is always a learning curve. We're trying to, you have new doctors using new equipment, trying to figure things out. And to see the Esperanza team, which I loved so much to work with them.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when we realized that we hit their goal. So they have a goal of seeing at least 75 patients a day. And they're just hoping to make a huge impact. And to see them when we hit that, and there was such a jubilee and dancing. I wish I could have got on camera. It was pure joy to the magic of just knowing that they were like, we have a great team. We're going to make a great impact for these communities. That was a really cool moment. We had a lot of patients that got tooth replacements, and that was wonderful to see them go and coming out. I mean, like, look at my teeth. And this one lady, she ran out, and of course she came out to me in triage, and I got to see her before and couldn't wait to show me her smile, and then was looking for her Esperanza loan partner to show her, because she's like, she's going to be crazy. And so then to see her across the way, just again, just joyful and grateful for everything that we did. Yeah, there's so many moments. I can't pick one. I'll just keep going on and on and on.
And did we have Dominican dentists on this expedition?
We had one, just Dr. Kobe, but no dental students with us this time. So
yeah, I know there's been some Ministry of Health issues there, but one of the big objectives, Allison, as you know, is working side by side with the in-country dentists and dental students, which is a big part of this. And it's not just how many people we serve, but the experiences that everybody has that really make a huge impact. And when we launched this over 10 years ago, as you know, Dr. Roy Hammond was the leader and really helped us understand how to do it right. And he has turned it over to the very capable hands of some great leaders like yourself that are carrying on the tradition and the doing good effort there. So thank you. Thanks for making it happen.
Yeah.
Being a great team lead to make it work.
Appreciate it. It was an honor and a wonderful experience. I love going to the Dominican, and I know I'm like, how do I get there in March?
Very cool. Thanks for joining us, and
thanks, Allison,
so much for sharing your experience and for taking the time and being a great example of doing good.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
Thanks. See you, Allison.
Bye.
Bye. Steve and I interviewed her for our Mentor of the Month series last year, where she shared her the longer story of how she progressed through where she is as a professional. It is worth going to listen to. How she expands on that story of how she changed her practice and how she would do it different, and what she would do the same. So she is a real leader in our group.
Easy to find, right? If you want to watch it, you just go to crowncouncil.com, log in, and can they just search for her name, Stu?
Yes. Yeah. The easiest way to do it is in crowncouncil.com in the premium hub. Any member can go to it's just the resources, the latest content. There's a big link that says access all content in the team training library. And if you go there, you'll find the Mentor of the Month tab, and it'll show all the past Mentor of the Months that have been posted. So very, very easy to find and navigate. Hers is mentor number 95.
95. Yep.
From associate to practice owner. So
yep. Very
easy.
cool.
And like Steve said, yeah, you can just go up to the search bar at the top and type in Allison Lesko.
Lesko.
Yeah. Very good. Hey, our Coach's Corner, they are out serving in Alaska right now.
Yes, they are.
This is Pam and Chris, and we couldn't connect live with them. They're in the middle of obviously a day of training, so we connected right before the show. So I recorded it, and then I edited it and exported it, but I haven't watched it. So hopefully,
who knows?
Yeah. So here it goes. I'm going to play. This is Chris and Pam with our awesome team up in Alaska
Premier Dental.
So let me know. You guys see my screen? Is that good?
Yeah, it looks good.
All right. Can you hear it? All right. This is a recorded segment for our live stream. Although we're only 30 minutes before the live stream, so it's technically, we're as close to live as you could possibly get. So joining us from Alaska, where they say it's still dark. What time is it in Alaska?
Yeah.
8:30.
It's
8:30.
It looks like 8:30 at night, though. Yeah.
Very good. Chris, will you please introduce who you're with?
Absolutely. We have our awesome doctors from Alaska Premier Dental Group, our owner doctors. This is Dr. Brian Wojtowski. I can't look at the computer while I'm doing this, as well as Dr. Clark Basham. And we have been working together with these awesome guys for about 13 years now.
Yeah.
and their team, and even trekking through snow, sleet, and everything else. We get together a few times a year to really focus on how we can uplift the team, really get their top skills in alignment and support them so that they have success with their patients every day.
Nice. Very good. And then, hi, Pam. How are you?
Hey, Stu, I'm wonderful. How about yourself?
Very good. I'm glad you're here.
Pam.
Sorry, Pam. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, I think it would be really fun to hear from the two doctors. What have been the two biggest challenges that you guys have seen in the last year, and how have you worked on them?
You know, we know that doctors go through a lot of challenges off and on, all the time. That's why Pam and I have a job. And could you share some successes that have happened over the last couple of months when we've honed in on what to do with the team and their skills and things that we've been working on consistently?
I mean, both of them, I like that you changed that because both of them, they reek optimism.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pam.
Yeah.
Thanks. Go ahead. Something that I think about, that the word that you guys talk about, entropy, the natural entropy. And over the last couple of years, that entropy has just been accelerated by a number of factors outside of all of our control.
Sure.
Right. And so I think having amazing coaches like Pam and Chris working with us to try and manage that entropy and the accelerated entropy has been just necessary. Everything from the mental fortitude to the hard practice skills to the systems, implementing systems and making sure existing systems are being followed and honored. That's been invaluable over the last few years.
Yep, definitely. And a part of that too is we had a change in leadership, and with that change in leadership, we changed the structure of our leadership, and so that has been key. With you helping us implement that and bringing it all together, and it's been a great move for us.
Nice. I can't wait to name this segment "They Reek Optimism."
You make that a t-shirt.
T-shirt. Clark. That's good. Hey, maybe Chris and Pam and doctors too. What is it? Maybe 2 or 3 secrets or keys that you guys do to have such a strong team culture. How do you make sure that your team is strong? We handed the Team of the Year award to this team for the humanitarian work that they did last year. So they received the Humanitarian Team of the Year at the annual event. I know that's a big part of what you do, doing good. But what else? What else are you guys committed to make sure your team and culture is strong?
Can I share one thing, Chris? And then I'll hand it to you. So Stu, for me, where we first start is it starts with the top, the leadership, partnering with doctors that care about their team, make the investment in them so that they can perform at their best, so that you don't just throw them in and say, okay, figure it out. It's easy to partner and foster the type of culture that they want so that it feels good for them, so that when they're serving patients together, it's a no-brainer that they'll walk home feeling fulfilled. So that's, for me, it starts from the top, really partnering with doctors that care about the team members. So kudos to you both.
Thanks, Pam. And that's what I was going to say too, is that we hold true to our culture and to each other in the same culture, and that helps us along the way and keeps our team strong in the culture also.
Nice. Very cool.
You said it better.
Chris, what will you guys work on today? What is it that you've got on your calendar, on your agenda?
Well, because we did Uber Focus on Tuesday as a whole organization, the team mapped out some wildly important goals, and Pam and I separate and conquer, where we take what they committed to and we will work side by side, one-on-one with team members so that they can feel success in how they're completing the goals that they set. We'll be working on things like how to link better with patients, how to make sure that every patient goes home with a clear picture of what they want and how we're going to help them get what they said they wanted, with their financial arrangements, everything in alignment. Because the team really wants to feel like every patient they touch and connect with gets what they want, which is everything and beyond their smile. Here.
Very cool.
So,
Nice.
that you could add to.
Nope, couldn't have said it better myself.
Very
Yes,
cool.
that's our biggest focus today.
Nice.
And
Hey,
it's in the plan where it's going to hold all the team accountable for what we're trying to accomplish. So it's great.
And then how often are you guys meeting? How often do you do this? Is Pam and Chris mentioned maybe a couple times a year? Is that necessary for the entropy?
Ah,
At a minimum.
Yeah.
Should be every other week.
we joke that, you know, we should have shirts that say we kick entropy's tail.
Yes.
Get in there, and that's the goal. So
Very
it doesn't keep showing its ugly head. We got to get in there and stir things up and help that entropy get out of the way.
And you check in with us and our leadership once a month. So
I look, he's getting major points right now.
He is. Cadence of accountability. Yeah, it doesn't, there has to be a cadence in place. And so thank you for saying that. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, these doctors have done a really great thing where we've been able to partner together with them, and they've put leaders on their team that they've helped develop, and the leads have just really been soaking it in and being better leaders. And so they're in a position to lead their team. And that's what's helped us partner together and really map out how we can get a cadence of accountability and rely on the team to also be self-led with.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Last but not least, you hear a word that's being hurled around is leaders. That's what they refer to their team as. There's no management here. We manage things and we lead people. And so both of these wonderful doctors sitting next to me are big components of fostering leadership and not management.
Yeah. Hey, well, they're leaders in the Crown Council membership. They've been a focus of our awards program, our Mentor of the Month program. I mean, everybody looks to this awesome team to set the standard when it comes to giving, to leadership, humanitarian work. So we're so grateful for you guys and thankful for all that you offer to the membership. Thank you.
Thank you too, Stu.
We wish we could be in front of the window where you could see all the snow, but again.
We'll imagine it. Hey, it's dumping here in Salt Lake. We're gonna
That's right.
Cool. Hey, thanks so much, you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Great group. Those guys are the best. Very fun.
Yeah, they are.
And the team is so big. I know that's why there's two, TOPS coaches that come up. They take care of the team. Yeah, Steve shaking his head, yes.
At multiple locations and
Yeah.
long history there. That's just so cool. That practice originally was Dr. Jim Libby and Pam Libby, and Jim sold the practice to Dr. Joe and Brian. And this is now, I think we can call this a third generation practice. So they've now sold it to Clark Basham. So we're on our third gen, and it continues to grow and making a huge impact in Anchorage and surrounding communities.
Yeah. Is there anything else, Steve, about that practice that that would be
I just every time we work with Alaska Premier, just the legacy around what they've created. We mention this, from time to time. We just got done with Allison Lesko and her talking about all the work that has been done in the DR, and that whole initiative is now, well over 10 years. And that was really sparked by Brian and Clark's predecessor, Pam Libby, who stood up at the annual event years ago, and their team had done just a huge amount of humanitarian work, and she kind of threw down the gauntlet and challenged everybody in the room to follow their example and do good. And that was really the beginning of the whole Smiles for Life humanitarian effort. Came out of that practice in Alaska. And they have continued that practice, that whole doing good piece of their culture. They're doing humanitarian work all the time around the world. And they are not in the most convenient location on the planet to go out around the world and do stuff. And that is not an obstacle. And they do it, just a great culture in their practice. They do a ton of dentistry. They crank it out in that practice. Highly, highly productive, and just continue to grow and just do good, so much good along the way. So great example year over year and generation after generation. So great example to follow.
Very cool. Hey, we've mentioned a few times annual event awards. As we roll into this last little segment, we're gonna talk about what that means. If you don't know what that is, let's just explain it real quick. So
do it.
Year after year at the annual event, the annual gathering of the Crown Council membership, we have the opportunity to recognize or spotlight not only awards for people that are voted on. So there actually are awards at the annual event that the membership will vote to recognize people. And I'm going to share that with you real quick. So if you're looking at my directory right here in the crowncouncil.com website, you will scroll down to the 28th annual event tab. This is if you are registered to attend. And there is an opportunity here inside this little page to submit either a spotlight nomination. So this is something new for this year. So you can register and then recognize someone on your team, as you can read here from Rach. Shine a spotlight on an individual team member who there's a big anniversary, years of service, accomplishing something grand in the office or personal life. You guys can read through these, but what this is an opportunity for you to recognize someone on your team or someone in dentistry. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, but there are not very many opportunities in dentistry where this kind of recognition takes place.
Yeah, this is a great place to do it. And don't keep it a secret. There's no, secret mystery, all-seeing eye out there that's spotting all this. Those eyes are yours. So this is a great opportunity to recognize, team members, dentists, maybe even other dentists, other practices, that are doing things that are worthy of recognition. So your eyes are our eyes, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Nice. Down just a couple, you'll see here Members' Choice Award nominations. This is another opportunity. You can actually nominate your team, nominate your doctor, or like Steve says, maybe it's another doctor. You can nominate another doctor that you don't work for, best doctor to work for. But this is an opportunity for you to submit that we then pick and recognize from the Crown Council stage. So a lot of fun. As you saw, some of those, these nominations are due. So the deadline is coming up. We've got about a month to submit those nominations so we can organize the awards. And for our last little bit here of the live stream, Greg had an incredible opportunity to present the Humanitarian of the Year Award to a group with our Mortensen family dental practices. So he flew out, joined their live event, and presented an award that we already had presented at the annual event, but it was re-presented in front of their people, which was really fun. So I joined him live, although he couldn't hear me very well. I think it turned out, we've got just a little 8-minute video with Greg on stage and live at that meeting. So I'm going to share that. All right, we're joining Greg live. This is a recorded segment for the live stream, but he is traveling today, which makes it fun for us to connect with him. That's why the live stream's so fun, is to see where everybody is and what's going on. So, hey, Gregor, why don't you tell everybody where you are?
I'm here in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm at the Mortensen Summit for the Louisville and Cincinnati and Indianapolis regions. I'm in a room with about 1,100 people. I first met Wayne and Sue Mortensen in 1999 when they had 25 team members and 4 offices. And that has now grown to 1,983 team members and 138 practices that span across the country. And I'm here today for 2 reasons. One is to thank them for their $2.6 million worth of contributions to Smiles for Life, and also to present an award to Dawn Brucher, who is our Crown Council and Smiles for Life Humanitarian of the Year. Weren't able to present that award to her in person last year at our annual event, so I came here to Louisville today to do that in person.
Very cool.
So, hopefully here in a minute, you'll be able to watch that live from the stage.
Yeah, we're going to record Greg presenting Dawn with that award, and then we're going to show it to you. But this is got people in the background jumping. This is an incredible undertaking by Mortensen Family Dental to gather all of these people together. What's fun about it is a lot of what they learned about hosting these meetings and building their team culture has come from the training and teaching of Crown Council. Maybe, Greg, you could talk about that for just a minute. How does Mortensen Family Dental, all of these dental practices, interact with Crown Council?
Thanks for asking, Stu. All 138 practices that are part of Mortensen Family Dental are Crown Council members. All of their team members are members of the Crown Council, and all of them participate in Smiles for Life. They are big attenders at the annual event. They are big believers, as are we, in recognition. And in fact, a lot of the things that happen here in the summit are a mirror of the things that we put on at our annual event. They have been Crown Council members and staunch supporters of the culture building practices since Wayne followed the model we suggested in 1999. And I believe continue to mirror the culture that is in the offices of most Crown Council practices. Big users of the skill of the week.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful to be here, grateful to share it with them today.
Very cool. All right, I'm going to play the video now of Greg. I'm going to play the video now of Greg presenting the award and being on stage. We're grateful he joined us live. And thanks, Gregor. Fun to connect.
Thanks, Stu. Thanks very much. Hard to hear in here. But we're on stage in about 1 minute, and we'll record it for you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Don. I have to agree with Dr. Meeks that I can feel the presence of Wayne and Sue in this room. Thank you. They're so sweet. I first met Wayne and Sue not far from here in 1999. At the time, they had 4 practices and 25 people. That's about 3 tables, a little less than 3 tables. And we talked about ways in which we might extend their vision of doing good. And today, as we have worked together, that invitation to do good has extended to all of you in now 138 practices and 1,983 team members who are all gathered together doing good. And I congratulate you for that. In that first year, in 1999, Wayne and Sue and their 4 practices raised $20,367 for Smiles for Life. And now with your commitment and the legacy that Wayne and Sue left behind, 23 years later, you have raised as a group more than $2.6 million. And that includes $219,662.74 that you raised last year together for Smiles for Life. And on behalf of our Smiles for Life Foundation and the Crown Council. My job today here is to come and thank you for a most remarkable year. Thank you. Clap for yourselves. Are the charity champions in the room? Could we have all the charity champions stand? I think we even have some over here. If you're a charity champion, stand up. These are the motors that make it run. On your feet. Thank you. Now, with all of that said, nothing that is good can happen without enthusiastic leadership. And when it comes to charitable giving, there is no better champion of charitable living than Dawn Brucher. Thank you. You can clap for her in a minute. This woman has the most giving heart. And at our Crown Council annual event this past January, we had hoped that we might present to Dawn the North American Humanitarian of the Year Award. But with the COVID flare-up, we were not able to do that. So while Dawn believes that I am here today to congratulate all of you, Shelley and I have been conspiring for some time. And it's hard to keep it away from her. She's kind of nosy. I'm really here to thank her and recognize her in front of her peers. Not only as the North American Humanitarian of the Year, but as a beautiful woman. We did it. Now, with all of that said, I just want to say that we look forward to a real successful 2023 Smiles for Life campaign that we believe will be the best ever. For those of you charity champions that are looking forward to your marketing boxes, they should be in your hands by the 15th of December. You are the first to see the color scheme of the year and the shirts I brought along. We think the teal's kind of cute. Our team stands ready to help you in any way. We've added a few new things to the campaign this year we hope you'll read through. One is the introduction and all the marketing materials for a charity whitening day, which we hope some of you might be able to incorporate into your practice. Thank you for allowing me to be here and for your commitment to doing good.
All right. That was great. I felt like I was at the annual event.
Likewise.
Very cool.
All right, boys.
Well, great program.
Productive hour.
We did it. We did it.
Got it.
Thank you both. Thanks to all of our guests, and grateful for, I know we've got people joining us live because they're texting me. They're sending me messages about what's happening during the live stream. So that's kind of fun. So grateful to connect with the community, and thanks to everybody who joined us. So we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.